Alright, so there's a lot of comparisons between characters in Overwatch 2 with Marvel rival characters. Similarities to playstyle of their abilities. Like, you know that thought when you're playing Marvel Rivals and you're like, oh yeah, that is Pharah from Overwatch 2. It's things like that that remind me of characters. So it's going to be every hero in Marvel Rivals, and the first one is going to be Bruce Banner. Bruce Banner is a mix of D.Va as well as Primal Rage Winston. Bruce Banner literally shoots projectiles of his little mini pistol and has a grenade, which D.Va actually doesn't, to charge up his gamma charge to turn into Hulk, while Hulk literally just smashes things and punches things with a few other projectile abilities, as well as a Zarya shield for his allies. And when that shield is hit, he actually charges gamma energy to power up his ultimate, not necessarily his attack power, but his ultimate. As you can see, D.Va is pistol and then turns into the D.Va Hulk. But D.Va Hulk plays a very different playstyle than regular Hulk. Now, funny enough, Hulk's ultimate gives him a lot of hit point and makes his punches knock back, as well as a grapple that throws him down and kind of seizes him, basically punches him to death, which I don't think Overwatch has anything like that, but the part where his auto attacks and punches become knockbacks is very similar to Winston's ultimate. Next one is going to be Venom. Now Venom is very similar to Wrecking Ball the hamster. Venom swings in the air and then dives at his enemies while doing little bits of damage with his auto attack, as well as having a shield. Although their ultimates are quite different, as Venom's ultimate makes him invulnerable, go down in the ground, and instantly attack everyone while charging a bit of shield. Oh, did I mention they both have a shield button? So very similar in that aspect. Yeah, the hamster's ultimate is actually a bunch of landmines that come out, and Penny Parker has something very similar. But no means are these champions the same, as Wrecking Ball is a mix of Venom and Penny Parker in a way. I mean, it's literally just one ability. Well, for Penny Parker, it's kind of two abilities. Like, Penny Parker can summon mines, and then when she ultimates, she can summon a lot more mines as well as attack enemies and launch them up. I guess kind of like Wrecking Ball's dive attack, but so does Venom's dive attack. So in a way, it's, yeah, Wrecking Ball is like a hybrid of Penny Parker and Venom. She can also shoot a web to attach to a wall or anything and hang from there, so that is a little similar. But I do feel like there's not really a true copy from Overwatch 2 for Penny Parker. She does feel very original. Now, next up, we have Magneto. Who does Magneto remind you of? A tank, someone that can float, shoots projectiles, summons a barrier. Who could Magneto possibly be from Overwatch 2? Oh, also is an old man. Yep, that's right, it's Sigma. Although he also has a little Zarya shield where he can shield himself as well as allies. So it's like a I'd say like more Sigma and then partially Zarya. But yeah, Magneto's left click is literally a shot of magnetism purple laser. I actually don't know what it is. Sigma's left click is throwing rocks at people, and then both their ultimates do make them fly, but they're kind of different, as Magneto throws a big ball at enemies while Sigma lifts them all up and throws them on the ground. Oh yeah, and Magneto's right click is literally Sigma's all rock shatter throw. So Sigma can absorb projectiles and whatnot, right? Magneto doesn't actually have any of that. Instead, he does have Zarya shields, so that kind of makes up for it. Yeah, these two characters are very similar, as they're both frontline tanks, and I don't know, this one's kind of blatant ripoff. Very similar with the Venom and Wrecking Ball. Both are tanks and have a similar play style. This one, yeah, I'd say it's a really good comparison. Now, next up is going to be Punisher. Punisher, well, he's on an assault rifle, and that automatically reminds me of Soldier 76. Both are army looking men, soldier kind of frontline infantry looking guys. Definitely in terms of aesthetics, they are, you know, it's very comparable. But I would say he also is like the old Bastion who would set up and just mow you down. Although his minigun does a little bit less damage. And his ultimate is very similar to Maga's miniguns, double miniguns, but he also shoots missiles while he's using his ultimate. And definitely does a lot more damage than Maga's little auto attacks, right? He's got two miniguns, but don't worry, Soldier 76 in Marvel Rivals does more damage with his miniguns. I'll also say he has this like setup grappling hook that's kind of comparable to Apex Legends, that robot who could throw a zipline towards places and get really far across the map. I think his name was Pathfinder, I could be wrong, but he has that. It's really glitchy though, because it either launches you upwards for no reason or launches you forward really fast, and I don't know, I feel like a lot of people could abuse this just because of how glitchy it is, but the cooldown on it is so long, so I'm not sure. Maybe you'll see some players really find a way to abuse this and become hyper movement Soldier 76 in Marvel Rivals. He also has a right click which shoots a smoke grenade and knocks him back, kind of like Anna's shift that knocks her back, but it deals damage. He shoots a smoke grenade. I also forgot, he has a shotgun. I don't really show it in here, but he just has a normal shotgun that just shoots people. And this champion is actually rated difficulty star 1, but I actually think there's a lot of abilities for this character. It's a little different. So overall, the Punisher in Marvel Rivals is a mix of Soldier 76, Moaga, Anna, Pathfinder from Apex Legends, Old Bastion. Yeah, that's like 5 characters, kind of. Wow. In a sense, he's an original character, just with a lot of abilities from other people. Oh, and he has a shotgun. The next one is going to be Star-Lord. Okay, so who else has 2 SMGs, shoots really fast, and can dash around in Overwatch 2? That's right. Star-Lord is Tracer from Overwatch 2. Did I also mention he stole Soldier 76's auto aim and then made him able to fly? Actually, that's kind of unique. It's auto aim and fly. He also has 2 dashes, kind of like Tracer. Hers is a blink, but his is more of a dash, and it reloads his guns. In that aspect, that it's pretty different. And he has this ability where he shoots everyone around him, very similar to Reaper's ultimate, but it doesn't do that much damage, and I feel like you do more damage if you just shot them. I guess it's good for AoE and if you can't aim, but yeah, it's Reaper's weaker version of his ultimate. So overall, Star-Lord is a mix of Tracer, Soldier 76, and a bit of Reaper. I forgot also he can like fly around. I can't really compare it to anyone in Overwatch, to be honest. Now Iron Man, hey, who does Iron Man remind you? He can fly, he can shoot projectile rockets that deal a lot of damage to around it when it lands. Yep, that's right. It reminds me of Pharah from Overwatch 2. He even has missiles. It's actually a mini Pharah ultimate if you think about it. It doesn't do as much damage as her ultimate, of course, since it's just a basic ability. But the difference between Iron Man is he can indefinitely fly, he can also shift boost himself, and he also has a unibeam that shoots out of him, kind of like Echo with her ability. But I mean, hey, I can't deny this. Iron Man's unibeam is a signature move. What can I say? He needs that ability in every iteration they use him in. Now Pharah does have like a knockback projectile that shoots her and enemies back away from wherever the projectile landed, and she has to boost herself in the air. But a lot of things are very similar to Iron Man. I would say that Iron Man is a hard mix of Pharah and a little bit of Echo. Scarlet Witch, what can I say? She is a DPS that doesn't heal and sucks people like Moira, as well as a right click that kind of shoots a projectile. But the way to charge up this projectile is you need to charge it with your left click, your damaging ability. In that sense, Moira, you heal people, but if you run out of that, you need to damage people with your other thing. Scarlet Witch, the way she restores her projectiles is by damaging people with her suck. She also has something very similar to Diva's ultimate, where she says nerf this, as is an AoE explosion that probably does a bunch of damage. I don't know how much it does, probably like 500, but the difference is you can actually shoot Scarlet Witch. I guess you can shoot mini Diva, but you can actually kill Scarlet Witch and deny her ultimate. With Diva, you can't really deny her mech, it's gonna explode. She also has something very similar to Reaper's shift ability, where he goes invulnerable. Or you could compare this to Moira's invincible ability, but it's a lot less slow, so it's definitely more comparable to Reaper's shift cloak thing. Scarlet Witch also shoots an orb that stuns people around it, while Moira's is a orb that heals allies or damaged enemies. I think it's a little different, just the throwing projectile thing is the only similar thing. So Scarlet Witch is basically Moira with Diva's ultimate. Next up is Rocket Raccoon. Rocket Raccoon. Rocket Raccoon is similar to Baptist from Overwatch 2. Rocket Raccoon shoots healing orbs or damages enemies with his left click and just shoots a gun at people, kind of like Baptist. He also has something that makes people not die and get revived, which is similar to Baptist's mortality field. Both of them don't make an ally die. He also has an ultimate that increases everyone's damage when they're around his little circle thing. Baptist has an ultimate that makes whoever shoots projectiles into his wall deal more damage. Wow, that does, yeah, Baptist is literally Rocket Raccoon. Except Rocket Raccoon can go on walls, float down because he has a jetpack, and he has a dash. Also, his hitbox is really small, so very similar to Baptist in a way. Also, I forgot that he can revive people, very similar to Mercy's one revive. So Rocket Raccoon is a mix of, oh boy, Baptist, Mercy, and his revive also supplies armor packs to his allies. God damn, this Rocket Raccoon kind of sounds OP. And he can ride on Groot. He sounds kind of OP, yeah. Now, Adam Warlock can revive all of his teammates through his ultimate if they die. Very similar to old Mercy ult, although not as OP. Also, I do find it interesting that he has a healing wave, kind of like, Witch Doctor from Warcraft 3. That's what it reminded me of. And then his shift heals people over time. Wait a minute. Who else heals over time? I mean, you could say other things like Baptist, but his says soul bonded, so yeah, Baptist is a regenerative field. Adam Warlock's projectiles are very similar to Zenyatta, as he can shoot projectiles or can charge up to shoot multiple projectiles in one burst. Overall, Adam Warlock is a mix of Zenyatta and Mercy, and I'll compare Zenyatta's ultimate to other people because it's kind of funny. Mantis, oh my goodness, she's a mix of a lot of characters. She can damage boost her allies just like Mercy, she can heal people over time like Bridget, and she has a sleep just like Anna, and her ultimate is literally Lucio. It heals people. That's not really Lucio's ultimate, but if they're full hit point, they get a movement speed boost as well as excess shielding. So Mantis is a mix of Anna, Mercy, and Lucio. Next up is going to be Luna Snow, an ice guard people similar to Zenyatta, and her ultimate also heals people and makes her invulnerable, but with a twist, she can also turn it to damage boost. And then her auto attacks shoot projectiles and she can freeze people. So that's a little unique. Honestly, it sounds like a Zenyatta 2.0 if you ask me. Now next up is going to be Psylocke. Psylocke is a Asian psychic ninja. I actually never knew she was a ninja because I played Marvel vs. Capcom 1, but she is a ninja who shoots shurikens as well as dashes and slashes enemies. But actually kind of like a different playstyle for Genji. She's kind of more poker and DPS, but she does shoot shurikens as well as dash slashing, and her dash slash goes on cooldown the more you actually hit with your left click. She also has a stealth kind of like Sombra, but the more comparable to Genji is going to be Black Panther because he's the one who actually dashes in and gets resets. So Black Panther, the way it works is if you use your right click throw spear at them, you mark them, and then when you dash into them and slash them, that's when you get your reset. It's not really kill reset, it's more like you gotta hit them with your right click and you can dash in and then strike them if you want. Also, as a kick ability applies a mark, so you can dash a bunch of times with this champion. It's kind of like, I don't know, it's not really comparable to anyone in Overwatch, to be honest, because I don't think anyone has like infinite dashes, but he has a lot of dashes, and his ultimate is completely different, I will say. Just like a Black Panther that scratches people. Now, next up is Captain America. I mean, I thought about it, and then I thought about it even more. Captain America is just a tank Bridget without the healing. His ultimate is literally a stat boost to all of his allies. Just like Bridget's ultimate, he has a shield that can block and can knock them up with his shield when he's like running through them, I think, with his ultimate. Very comparable to Bridget in my opinion, since their ultimates are basically the same, but has a lot of different abilities that are different to Bridget and more damagey. Next up is going to be Winter Soldier. I actually find him more comparable to McCree just because of their pistol, but that's kind of it. They play very differently. He has a Roadhog type of pull-in hook, and I will say his ultimate is kind of comparable to Genji's shift because he can get a reset on them, so it's like a mix of Roadhog, McCree, and Genji. Namor is is literally Torbjorn because he can spawn squids that just shoot enemies. I don't know, that's kind of it. Oh, actually, wait, that's not it. He can also shoot and poke just like Torbjorn, his little spear, and Torbjorn shoots projectile darts. I don't actually know what he shoots. Ultimates though are similar in terms that they do damage, but he just summons a big fish and then kills them all, while Torbjorn shoots lava. It's different. Reinhardt is very similar to one called Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange has a shield just like Reinhardt, puts it up. Both ultimates do stun the enemy. I'd say the biggest difference, of course, is that Doctor Strange, well, he can fly and float a bit, as well as make portals and make opportunities to flank the enemy or wherever you want to go. Actually a little crazy. I think this ability is so different from Reinhardt. So it's a mix of Reinhardt and old Symmetra, where she can make portals to wherever she wants, right? But yeah, it's a mix of old Symmetra as well as Reinhardt. Spider-Man has a Roadhog type ability where he can pull people, but honestly, he is so unique. He can web swing everywhere and just be an assassin. Like, this is an original character for sure. The next one is going to be Black Widow. You'll never guess who Black Widow is a copy of from Overwatch 2. That's right, Widowmaker. She is a sniper that snipes people, and she can get to places. She has a little bit of mobility. She can jump really high and sprint. So a mix of Soldier 76 and Widowmaker. Her ultimate is quite different, as it just shoots like a big plasma energy ball instead of having map packs. So yeah, I don't know, her ult doesn't really fit her kit, just being a big damage, but sure. She also has a melee baton, but yeah, that's not really comparable to anything, and she can kick people. Next up is going to be Hawkeye, and Hawkeye is not literally Hanzo, but he does have projectile arrows that take a while to travel and don't hit scam people. Yep, but he does have different variants of arrows that do damage, kind of like Hanzo's other arrows. He doesn't have a recon ability, but he does have Genji's projectile deflect, although it's really hard to actually do. I don't know, it's kind of doesn't work sometimes. I don't know how to time it. He also has a double jump, so just like Hanzo, double jump. In a way, he's like a mix of Genji and Hanzo, but his deflect sucks so much that he's probably just a Hanzo. Now, Squirrel Girl reminds me a lot of Junkrat. She shoots explosive acorns that do AoE damage. She has honestly, it's not the same trap, but she does immobilize people as she throws a direct projectile squirrel that restrains people, and she can jump really high in the air with one of her abilities. The only difference, I guess you could say, is she can recharge her cooldowns with her eating an acorn, and she can get her shift back as well as her right click. Her ultimate's also completely different, as it throws a bunch of squirrels that damages people. But yeah, she just shoots grenaded acorns, and it's very similar to Junkrat, a siege type of DPS. Groot is literally Mei, but in a tank form, and also his walls deal damage when you hit people and they're near it. It just slaps them, literally. But other than that, his kit is completely different from Mei, because he can't really freeze himself. His ultimate is super similar to Zarya's ultimate, as it sucks people in, and they can't get out for a little while. So Groot is a mix of Zarya, but more Mei, with cooler walls. Unfortunately, these cool walls can be shot and broken. And the final one is going to be Wolverine. Wolverine, this is kind of a stretch to be honest, but basically Wolverine is comparable to Doomfist. One has a dash in, does damage, fist people, while Wolverine claws people. Both champions have a bunch of dashes, but I think the big one is Wolverine's ultimate is very similar to Doomfist, where they both jump in the air and just impact and deal damage. They also both have a parry ability, like Wolverine will roar and have damage reduction, while yeah, he has a parry that has damage reduction too. But yeah, that's basically it for all the comparisons. Let me know in comments below which ones you think are more comparable, like heroes maybe I've missed, but I kind of went through all of them, and this is the list I came up with. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. We'll make more videos like this, and I'll see you guys next time.